we're here at the 2020 Harley-Davidson announcement meeting, and I paid John Maxwell to be here with me. Just kidding. He's here on his own free will and choice. So I'm here with John Maxwell, and so we're gonna get a lot of his commentary as well. We're here in the LiveWire booth, so they have a really cool display actually for the LiveWire. They've got a LiveWire here that has all the carbon fiber accessories on it and everything. And they made this kind of this cool illuminated white booth. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys a little bit of the LiveWire. It's been talked about now for a long time. Harley-Davidson's had it. It's kind of in the R&D stages for a long time. They want to make sure the launch goes well. And I got to ride it a little while ago. Some of you may know that. And I mean, the bike's phenomenal. First of all. It performs amazingly, and I know a lot of people get caught up in the range and how long it takes to charge, and all those things are certainly important. But what people don't realize is this is a bike that outperforms any other Harley out there. From a standpoint of acceleration, and its handling ability is among the best Harleys, if not the best Harley. The suspension fully adjustable, so. Yeah, everything is pretty amazing on it.
You were talking about the table of carbon fiber parts. I, for one, being in the world of Harley, we don't know anything about carbon fiber. There's no carbon fiber. That's sport bike, performance-minded motorcycles. So just picking them up and touching and feeling how light all that stuff is pretty crazy that Harley's now in that market. So I'm excited. I think for the model year, the Lowrider S is definitely the coolest. Probably do immediately well in sales and stuff, but the LiveWire is a great future on where Harley's going, so I'm stoked.
This LiveWire is pretty cool because, like I said, it's got all the accessories on it. So I want to give you guys a close look at all the genuine Harley-Davidson parts and accessories that will be available for the LiveWire at launch, which, by the way, the LiveWire just started shipping last week, so we should see some of these bikes getting in the hands of riders at this point. But the first one here is the Speed Screen Blade, and basically it's a carbon fiber piece that goes to the top of the headlamp cowl, that little mini fairing that goes on the front of the bike. And a lot of this stuff is carbon fiber, like John Maxwell just mentioned. And so you get a little bit of a weight savings there. I don't think it's super dramatic where you're gonna really increase the performance of your bike, but it also kind of gives you that cool cosmetic appeal as well. So the next part we're gonna take a look at is the low profile seat. So yeah, the seat on here has been changed. It is not the stock one. And so the low profile seat is designed to lower the seat height by 1 inch. So for riders that are having trouble keeping their feet planted on the ground, it stops, then the low profile seat might be a good solution for those riders. And it has a little bit different stitch design, detail design as well, kind of that ribbed stitching in that center panel there. Also kind of comes up onto the bottom of what would be the gas tank, but it's kind of like that charging cover. So here's a shot of the parts catalog, and it is a 2-up seat as well, so it will accommodate a passenger as well. So the next piece is the LiveWire tail section cowl. And this is a carbon fiber piece. This is mostly just for cosmetic purposes because it does cover up the passenger end of the seat there. It does come off quite easily according to the parts catalog, so you can take it on and off based on whether or not you were riding with a passenger or not. This just kind of gives it more of that overall carbon fiber performance look to it. A lot of the cafe racers and bikes like that have kind of a hardtail look that don't really have that spongy seat exposed, but have kind of that molded tail section on it. So it kind of plays into that styling a little bit in my opinion. This next part is the rear brake master cylinder cover, and this is a carbon fiber part as well. And obviously it covers up the rear brake master cylinder on the bike, which in my opinion is just kind of a preference thing. And I wasn't even aware of this part at first. Here's a shot of it right there. That's the best shot I had just because I wasn't even aware and cognizant of the part when I was looking at these bikes at the dealer show. But here's a bike here without the cover on there, so you can kind of see the contrast between the two. But in my opinion, this is just going to be kind of a preference thing, not something that the bike really needs. It doesn't, in my opinion, look ugly without it, but just kind of a preference thing. This next piece here is the LiveWire tank trim in carbon fiber. Basically, again, this is just kind of a cosmetic enhancement to the bike. If you're going all in on the carbon fiber theme, which obviously these accessories favor that, you might as well get the tank trim piece as well and go all in on that look. Here's a shot of the part in the catalog. They call it the tank trim, but it's really not a tank there anymore. It's actually the cover of the shell of the recharging unit. Next, we have the transmission accent covers. So once again, carbon fiber pieces. And on the left side, it's actually the swing arm pivot bolt cover, but on the right side, it's actually the transmission accent cover. So here's a shot of the right side here. Kind of see right there above the right foot peg, the transmission side cover there. And then we'll get a close-up shot of the left-hand side here, which is the swing arm pivot bolt cover there. Yeah, the actual carbon fiber pieces, really nice when you put them in your hand and just feel like the quality is definitely there. There's just so many fake carbon fiber parts out there nowadays that it's refreshing to kind of see an actual real carbon fiber part. Of course, you do pay for it. All these parts are quite expensive. There's a shot of the catalog there. So let's move on to the grips and the foot pegs. Harley-Davidson calls this their Voltaic collection. So it's kind of like the LiveWire exclusive collection. Although these parts do fit other bikes, we've actually had one of our customers put these on a Lowrider S, and it looks pretty good actually. So it's kind of a combination of black and rubber and machined aluminum on there. Kind of a futuristic look to them, real clean, modern look. Yeah, I think it's really tasteful. It looks really good, and it looks good on the LiveWire as well. So yeah, I think these are pretty dang cool. If I got a LiveWire, I'd probably go with the Voltaic collection. I don't know if I'd do all the carbon fiber stuff or not. Maybe if it was in the budget, but the carbon fiber stuff looks really, really sharp too. So yeah, if it was in the budget, I'd do it as well. But yeah, the Voltaic stuff looks really nice. Next up are the LiveWire frame protectors. So this is basically like a frame slider that you see like on sport bikes. In case the bike goes down, they're there to absorb the impact. And in my opinion, for the cost of these things, to save yourself potentially all the damage to the side of your bike and the frame and everything, it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. You know, just, and they don't look bad either. They're real inconspicuous on there, and I don't think they take away or detract from the styling of the bike. So yeah, I think the frame sliders are pretty good, or the frame protector, excuse me. So here's a couple different like axle nut bolts as well that kind of go with the LiveWire. They kind of dress it up a little bit, and you also got a charge door as well for the LiveWire that I think is pretty cool. You got the satin chrome on there.
Say it weighs 550.
I think it weighs 550. Yeah.
I was curious about that. I don't remember. It feels really light. It balances really well. Like how every Harley you ever ride, you're way out here. Primary's in your way and stuff. Not on this at all. It's cool.
Yeah, real narrow bike. For us in California, it's going to be a really good like lane splitter bike. They had to kind of make a distinct decision whether to do a level 2 charger or a level 3. They decided to go with the greater, faster charging. So it's a DC fast charge level 3, which will charge this bike in about an hour. They say it charges like 80% in 45 minutes, something like that. So yeah, if you're a LiveWire dealer, you have to have the DC fast charging station. So yeah, we have one of those at our dealership right now.
So that's what, if you happen to be 7 feet tall, this is how you fit on the LiveWire.
Honestly, it's not as uncomfortable as many might think. Like I'm not super uncomfortable on it for it being a pretty small bike, especially compared to most of the Harleys. Yeah, I can ride it for a while. I've never been on it for more than about 30 minutes at a time, so maybe I'm speaking too soon, but
I don't think you're gonna ride more than 30 minutes at a time necessarily either. Really, I mean, I don't foresee the point of the bike isn't to ride it from 100% charge to dead. I don't think. You get to where you're going really quickly at that, and then onto the next spot. Probably not going to replace your gas motor cell in your garage, but it could potentially be an addition to it.
I think the way that people enjoy this bike is going to be a lot different than the way people enjoy like the touring bikes. We'll just use the complete opposite side of the spectrum. The way people are going to enjoy this bike that I see anyways are people that have a very defined commute. They know how many miles they're going to be going. They know at the destination they have a charger, or they know that round trip they're going to be able to make it with the mileage that the capacity, the battery capacity will allow. Either that, or they take it out for a weekend ride. They go up the canyons or whatever, and they ride real aggressively through the canyons on those windy roads or wherever your favorite place to ride is. And they take it home and they put it away. So a lot of the complaints that I've been hearing about this bike, first off, before anybody even rides it, a lot of the complaints I'm hearing is, okay, well, how am I going to travel? How am I going to go places on this bike? Well, this isn't for the rider that wants to go on the run for the wall or to go to Sturgis. I mean, this isn't for that type of rider. No, I think as like a lot more charging stations get built out and the infrastructure in the United States gets built out more, I think that will be very doable. But I think at this point it's probably going to be a chore to, especially in more of the rural, remote areas. I think it's going to be a chore to find charging stations for this bike. It's going to be hard to kind of piggyback dealerships across the country that have live wires. I'm not saying it's impossible to do, but I think it's going to be kind of a pain at this point. So I don't think this is the bike for the guy that likes to put 500, 600, 700 miles a day on his motorcycle, and so it's not for that buyer. So it definitely has a niche type of rider, and it meets the needs of a certain person that's real specific. Like I said, a commuter or just kind of a day, get out and rip it around real quick for a couple hours. But I don't know. I think we'll see.
We're all really excited here at Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson for the arrival of our first LiveWire. We got notice that these bikes are being shipped out. Our first one should be arriving to the dealership sometime next week. It is already spoken for, but yeah, it's just really cool to be a part of this period in Harley-Davidson's history. This is a huge milestone for them to be launching an all-electric motorcycle. A lot of people didn't think it would ever happen, I think, and it's just interesting to see, and it's exciting to see Harley-Davidson being the first major motorcycle manufacturer to come out with an all-electric bike, especially since Harley-Davidson gets more criticism, I think, than any other motorcycle manufacturer out there for not having advanced technology and kind of keeping around old tech. I see that comment a million times, in different social media platforms when people talk about Harley-Davidson. So this is kind of like a big middle finger to everybody who's ever said that. I mean, it doesn't get any more technologically advanced than, a bike that runs on all electricity at this point in time. I'm sure, electric powered motorcycles will be pretty commonplace in, 10, 20 years from now. But, it's not just the fact that it's electric bike and everything from the suspension, the lighting, the instrumentation, just everything that goes into this bike, just the frame, the manufacturing, that really makes it just a cool piece of tech. And there's a lot of other guys out there right now. It seems like every time I open up my cell phone now, there's like a new piece of news that some other independent builder or even some of the big boys, big manufacturers making electric bikes now, or have the plans in the works to be making electric bikes. It's a very pivotal time right now in this segment in the electric powered motorcycle world, where people are trying to jump into the game early and get that market share early. And it'll be really interesting to see kind of what happens. Harley-Davidson has a huge advantage, obviously, just because of their economies of scale and scope and their manufacturing and just their dealership network to be able to distribute these and sell a lot of them. But that being said, there's going to be very limited quantities of these coming out in the first model year. We're only projected to get about 8 of these things, and we're probably in the top 5-10% as far as volume goes in LiveWire dealers. There will be plenty out there that sell more than us, but just being in downtown Los Angeles or close to it, we're definitely a market that is one of the hotter markets in the country for this type of vehicle. So I hope, anyways, I hope they sell really well. So far we have, our first one is spoken for. Obviously, we do have one in the next 3 or 4 weeks that is available, and we have one that should be available in December. So if you're looking for one of these bikes, if you're in Southern California, I'd love to earn your business. Hit me up. It's going to require a deposit. I think most of these things, especially the first few, will be pre-sold. I've talked to some other dealers that have 10, 11 of these things pre-sold. So yeah, it'll be really cool. I can't wait to get my hands on one and do a full in-depth ride and test ride on this bike. Be looking for that video. Hopefully within a month, I'm going to take this thing into probably downtown LA or something like that and do like a full review on the LiveWire, and hopefully pit it up against other electric bikes like a Zero or something like that. It's definitely paving the way and setting the tone for future vehicles in Harley-Davidson's lineup, and it's really posturing them as a leader in the electrification of motorcycles as well, and really setting them up to have the experience for future electric products. And I just really feel like Harley-Davidson's More Roads initiative that they've started, this bike in addition to the adventure bike and the Street Fighter, that Harley-Davidson really is going to be a very dominant, it already is a dominant force in the motorcycle world. But with shrinking riders right now, Harley-Davidson is going to need to have their hands in more pools, more genres, more practices or styles of riding. And so they didn't wait too long, that's for sure. So I think the biggest complaint right now is just the price tag. A lot of guys are complaining about the $30,000 price tag, which it is a lot of money, and I'm not going to dispute that. But when you take all things into consideration, the build quality, the fit, the finish, everything you're getting, I think this bike, for it being the halo model of electric bikes coming out, the more I learn about it, the more I feel like the price is justified. But anyways, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I feel like there's a lot of people that are the core Harley-Davidson enthusiasts that are real resistant to this type of a bike, and I get it. The LiveWire defies everything that really makes a Harley a Harley. I think, the sound, the feel, and everything. But this in no way is going to replace ICE, the internal combustion engine, by any means. You know, this is still only going to represent probably less than 1% of the bikes being manufactured worldwide. So this will be a very cool addition into the Harley-Davidson lineup. So yeah, be looking for my future video where I do a test ride. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'd like to hear your opinion on this bike, and take care. Bye-bye.